Hello and welcome to Howto rapAmod, and we have the Joyetech eVic VT and a clear carbon fibre wrap. Right, make sure your mod is clean. Any dust or anything needs to be gone, because through the clear, if you get any dust, any bits, you will see it. So we clean that down. Right, I've started with the clear on these ones simply because of the colours, and the finish on these is amazing. It is a really nice finish. Alright, here we go. If you peel off your main section, and what you need to do is centralise your fire button, which isn't that easy because of it being clear. Maybe if I add a bit of light, it might make it worse for you, but it should help me. Centralise the fire button within the cutout. Look down the screen to see if that looks level, which it does. Smooth it down slightly. It is bubble free, so you haven't got too much worry about bubbles. If you then, with that just lightly pressed, just pull it round just to make sure that it's going to line up with the charging port and that it's level, and it appears to be. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a bit more pressure onto them bits. I don't know how well the camera will show this up, but the cutout that I've done for the screen is not the full screen, because when you start it up, the bit that lights up on it isn't the full part anyway, so there's no need for the screen to actually look so big. The usable area of the screen, the visible bit, isn't covered by the wrap. So I don't know how well you can see that. There you go. Just knock it off again. Alright. Now, smooth it down, working your way around. Now these have got like a hump on them, and it's not so big at the bottom there as it is at the top here, which makes it a little bit tricky putting a wrap on and keeping it level. So it will run off slightly. I've tried to compensate for it as best as I can, but it may still run off. It all depends on how much the vinyl stretches and how it lies, and trying to get it down into them grooves. At the top there's more of a groove than there is down the bottom. It's kind of hard to explain, but you need to just work it into there, keeping the wrap lifted up, so you're allowing it to go down there itself without having to stretch it, and work it along just from the middle outwards, like you do with all wraps. And when you get to the other side, keep it lifted and push the vinyl down, and hopefully it will go down and stay down. There is The only problem I've had is with it starting to lift right at the top either side of this hump. It's because it's a curve and the vinyl's trying to lift. Hopefully doing it this way, by having the vinyl lifted and pushing it down, the vinyl's going into it and not being stretched into it. The first one I did, I just pulled it flat, heated it, and tried to get it to stay down, and it did, but it did start to lift, and hopefully this will sort it, but there are no promises. It seems to be staying down. What I'll do when I've actually got it on is I'll add some heat to it just to help that bit stay down. I mean, with it lifting there, it wasn't causing me a problem, it wasn't catching, you know, didn't look silly. So now this side, keeping the vinyl lifted, all I'll do is just put my thumb or something, you know, finger under there, just so you can keep it lifted and work it into that groove. Same again as you get to this one. And you do need to use quite firm pressure to push it down. And there we go. With this vinyl being bubble free, it is quite nice to work with, and you can lift it up. You do need to be careful when you are trying to lift it back. You know, be gentle with it, because if you do too much and you, how can I put it, and you stretch the glue that's on there, you will see a mark through it, so just be careful with that. Checking that we're level, and it appears to have stayed level, which is a good thing. And these humps here, you know, do push it off, so you do have to be kind of careful. The back bit overlaps slightly, and I've had to do that because of these humps, because with the humps being more at the top, the circumference, I think it's called, is greater at the top than what it is at the bottom, because there's hardly any hump there, so the wrap tends to move like that. So I've done an overlap, and you'll see that the overlap is slightly more at the bottom than it is at the top, and that's simply because of these humps. Now at the top there is virtually no overlap whatsoever, it just butts up absolutely perfect, and then towards the bottom there is an overlap. Now I could try and get rid of that by just slanting this side slightly, but then when you come to put it on, if you slightly stretch it more, or you don't stretch it, or whatever, you're going to end up with a gap, and you know, I think it's better to have a slight overlap than it is to have a gap. Hopefully you'll feel the same. There we go, there is a slight, very slight, but what we may find with the bottom bit is, as the wrap sets, it will shrink slightly, so that gap, sorry, the overlap may well disappear. But you can try some firm pressure with the back of your nail just to push it down, and it may well disappear. Right, looking at the front where this hump is, Well, I don't know what else to call it. It's a hump. What I'm going to do is a bit of heat. Sorry, you can't see that. Right. Bit of heat. An air dryer would probably be best, a bit more controllable, but I've not got one, don't need one, so a bit of heat. Now from the bottom up, from the bottom up, a bit more heat. You may end up having to keep repeating this every so often. Right, then it's warm. Okay, from the bottom up, from the bottom up, just nice firm pressure. More heat. Okay. Right. Hopefully they'll stay down, but if not, there is nothing I can do about it. All I'm doing now is just pinching either side while the wrap's still warm, because if you can get it to seal at the top, if no air can get in, then it can't separate. And there we go. I actually think these look pretty damn good, to be honest. I've been using it for a couple of days and the temperature control is spot on. It is a really nice device. The finish is absolutely excellent. You know, it's like an high-end mod finish. It is. It's like the paintwork on your car. You know, it has got a metallic finish, and some have said it's a shame to cover it up. That's why I'm doing it with clear carbon, because you can still see the colour and it's got that protection and a bit more grip. I like the feel of the carbon. Yeah, the finish on it being that good, it's slimy. You know, on the finish of the mod. You know, with the carbon on it, it's a bit more grippy, a bit more protection. So there we go. Right, the top, which was a bitch to create, but I managed it. Clean the top, and you'll see there's a bigger cutout and a smaller one. Bigger ones for the button, smaller ones for the 510. Obvious, but there we go. Right, to put this on, if you can grip it like that, look down through the cutouts, line your adjustment knob, whatever you want to call it. It ain't a button, but line that up, line the 510 up, and when you're happy with it, just push it down, and that's that one done. I think the carbon fibre on top of the silver looks absolutely awesome. It would be nice to have a silver mod, you know, a chrome mod, and put some of this on it, because it looks absolutely wicked. Right, the bottom. The bottom sits within a recess. I did sort of contemplate making it slightly bigger so that it sat on the outer rim to give a bit of protection to the bottom, but when I tried it, the vinyl doesn't sit correctly. You know, there's an air gap all the way around that, and you can't get the vinyl to sit in such a tight little recess like that, so I had to cut it back to sit within it. And the same as the top, if you can grip it then well done, but I'm struggling with this one. So just line it up with the edge, line it up with the vent holes, and there you go, it's on. You can't really see it that well, but there you go, it's on. Right, the last little bit is something I've just done, and it's just a little tiny circle which I've done to put on the face of the button. Now the button is it concaved or whatever they call it? It's rounded on top. So whether this will stick and stay, I don't know. This is the first time I've done this, so we'll see. Just to give a little bit of protection to that button, because I don't know if you can see, but I have actually marked mine, you know, by putting it down in the car like that, and it slides as you move, and so it actually marked it. Alright, here we go. Now the carbon fibre has got a grain to it. If you want to take the time to match up the grain, go for it. If not, just stick it on. I will try and match it up, but yeah, looks like it goes that way. I'm going to use my scalpel just to try and centralise it within that button. Now it is way smaller than the button, and I've made it like that, so hopefully it will stay, but there are no guarantees. I'm way off centre with that. Jesus Christ. Right, you back up, try again. Ain't easy trying to put it onto a reflective thing. Right. There, looks sort of central. Press it down, a bit of pressure. Don't press too hard. I don't want you to break your button. A bit of pressure, and I don't know if you can see it, if the camera will catch it. There it is, on there, just to give a bit of protection, just to the centre there. How well it'll stay on, I don't know. I don't know if I like the feel of it being on there, because the button's got a really smooth texture to it, whereas now I can feel the edges of that vinyl. So I don't know if that's better than scratching it. I'll leave it on for now. Right, what I have done, and I don't know if I'll keep doing it, but I've also done a clear for the Ego 1 Mega that comes with it, just because it comes with it. And what I've done, you've got 3 cutouts central to the main wrap. I haven't bothered doing the other 6 cutouts because I don't see a point in doing them. It's clear so you can see them, but even if it wasn't clear, I don't see the point in having all them cutouts. No, I don't see the point. So just these 3 central to the wrap. You've only got 3 to line up, and I lined them up with the cutouts that have got the writing above them, just for the sake of it. You could put it on your mod and decide which 3 you want to line up with. Just when it's on your mod, that is where mine sits. And if I'd have wanted to, because the back ones look perfectly in line with that, I could have lined up with them, and then you can see your juice. But anyway, I've added that in just on this first batch. I don't know if I'll keep doing them, because I don't know if people will use the tanks or not. So, right, that's that. See if I can give you a look around it. if I can catch the light right, you can see the effect, and I like it. You got the top. I love the way the top looks with the carving on it. Really do. You got the bottom. Absolutely brilliant. There you go. Thank you.